Hello ladies and jelly spoons, it's Robert here and we're going to do a reading for the month of October. Look, here we go. Isn't that nice? And those are my antidepressive cards down there. Let's regretfully move our lovely flower because otherwise it will be in the way. And then first of all we're going to have some questions for the month of October. Please give us 3 questions for the month of October. What do we need to ask? Because sometimes asking the right question is, half the battle, isn't it? Here we go. I'm only going to use majors, court cards and aces, okay? 3 questions for the month of October. There's a major. There's an ace. And there's another major. There's our lovely St. George's Cross again. Now we will determine what these questions are. This is all quite casual. We're just designing our spread. We're not really reading the cards yet. Pope. What's the key to the month? Ace. What's the ground in which all this is taking place in October? And Judgment. Where is our sense of new life and resurrection? Okay. And now I'm going to ask for 3 answers. So let's take these lovely things. Please give us 3 answers for the month of October. Okay, and I'm going to reverse that reading. Okay, what's the key to what's going on in the month of October? Well, the key is this 5 of Swords, what I think of as the defeat card. 5 of Swords is when things didn't turn out the way you hoped they would. And in this position, it's very much about acceptance. Okay, so that plan or that desire didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. And that is fine. It's key to accept that and move on, because that acceptance will open up new possibilities. And that brings us on to the next question. What is the ground in which this is taking place? And Page of Wands for me is the scouting card. And that word new takes us from this card to this card. The Page of Wands is the character who scouts for new arenas for creativity. Okay, and so this is what's at stake at the moment. It's new arenas for creativity. It's actually looking for, if you like, a new landscape in which to operate. And it doesn't necessarily mean geographically a new place, but a new vision or a new mindset or a new orientation that we can put ourselves in, that we can inwardly travel to in order to discover new possibilities for creativity. Okay. And if we move on to the third card, the Judgment card, where is this feeling of new life and resurrection to be found? Interesting. New life and resurrection is to be found symbolized by the Death card. So we have death and we have resurrection. Now, you probably know that the Death card in tarot doesn't really symbolize death. It symbolizes change and transformation. But it is change and transformation expressed in the image of death. When we look at the Marseille Death card, it is it is the Grim Reaper, and the heads and the limbs of the dead are ploughed back into the earth. So there is a cycle in which death is absolutely essential to new life. I think in this reading we are looking for new life. We're looking for new creativity. We're looking for new opportunities. We're looking for a new vision. In the first card here, we saw the necessity of letting go. That was letting go of things that didn't turn out right. In death, we let go of the whole thing, don't we? So this is a slightly a bigger metaphor, but it's very similar to this in this context. So with the Death card, we let go of a whole belief system or even a whole identity or a whole phase of life, a whole role that we had in order to move on and in order to be able to live and in order to be able to resurrect and to find not just new energy, not just new arenas and opportunities, but a real feeling of excitement and a real feeling of meaning. And I am going to pull one of my homemade antidepressive cards. Please give us a homemade antidepressive card to go with this reading. The card says guided. Guided. So that's our hope for the month of October, that we won't have to do it on our own, that we will be guided, that we do have allies, whether those allies are our bigger brains, our less neurotic selves, or whether they are friends and intelligences in other dimensions, or whether it's just a little fruit fly crawling across our tarot reading in a curious way. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my reading for the month of October. I'll be back, or at least my channel will be back next week with more of this stuff. Have a lovely month.